Well, first two worsts figure out which is worse. And then the other two worsts figure out which is worse. And then the top two worsts fight it out until eventually you get the WORSTEST Worstest.
What is the theme, John? Tell our listeners.
Tim, today's theme, for those listeners who didn't read their podcatcher to see what episode this was, is because we have Valentine's Day coming up in only a few days. So get your chocolates and roses bought. There's still time to get to CVS.
That's true, right?
And if you do it after 6 o'clock, you get the half-price chocolate.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Before the wife gets home.
It's left over. It's left over from Christmas, Pete.
Oh, yeah, right.
What does this chocolate proclamation of your love look like Santa Claus with the foil wrapped off?
Just eat it. I love you.
It's caramel. You like it.
But the receipt
Carmella.
is twice as long.
Very true. Oh, yeah, and then you can wrap it up in the receipt.
Perfect.
Why the fuck do they do that?
CVS is
They
there
must
for you.
have like 7 forests that they're trying to get rid of.
They should, like, when you buy CVS brand aspirin, they should have just the receipt instead of a cotton ball at the top of the little jar.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love the earth, man. I just
know-
love the earth.
You should tell someone at CVS, but good luck because no one works there anymore, apparently. It's just you walk in, there's nobody there.
Yeah, and you can't get anything because everything is locked up.
Yep, that too.
It's not even
Well,
like...
that's because nobody's in there to stop you from walking out with it.
Right, I guess they have to.
Very true. I had to buy some Dinty Moore stew, and I had to get somebody to help me.
Where did they move the Vienna sausages?
You need a prescription for that. So, today's episode, this episode is Worst Romantic Gestures in History.
Nice.
Right? Oh, delicious. That wasn't worst at all.
Scott, why did you lick my forehead?
You're his now.
Tastes like peppermint.
Still from Christmas. He was claiming you. Now you have to be his slave.
I guess I didn't read the fine print when I signed on for this podcast.
It's like a CVS receipt.
Most certainly not.
No, we wouldn't have any hosts on this podcast if they read the fine print. And ooh, that print is fine. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fine, speaking about licking people's foreheads, which you should not do, always get permission. Let's go and tell everybody what we are doing today, what we're bringing them. Scott, what are you bringing?
Well, I created a name for this presentation, and you'll perhaps understand why when I say that I am going to present Worst Romantic Gesture as Van Gogh's ear set against French newspaper.
Ooh. It sounds like a museum piece.
Yes.
It really does. It should be in the...
Picking up what I'm dropping down there, Tim.
It should be in the MoMA.
Did you bring champagne?
Sadly, I did not. I might have a couple of beers in the car, though.
That's champagne enough for me.
Wait, what's Miller
High Life.
The champagne of beers?
Beers?
Yeah, I don't have any of them, but
Where's the Miller High Life? Good. I am going to be going against Scott. I'm going to be fighting him in the dodecahedron.
so this is your mystery presentation, no?
This is my mystery presentation for all the folks out there who think that this is all just simple, easy, and it comes to us like a little snap. Beautiful. I had a nice, simple, chocolate-themed kind of thing to do. And I read in our Worstest spreadsheet, first Tim puts down what he's going to do, and then Scott puts down what he's going to do, and I'm like, my chocolate thing is useless. It's garbage. So literally today, about 5 hours ago, I had the idea, and I started working on it, and the idea is this. I am bringing to you, Scott, I have also named my piece.
Oh, lovely.
And it is called Love, the Bath Salts of Emotions.
Ooh.
The Lisa Nowak story.
Uh-oh. I don't think I know this story.
I don't.
You know it.
Okay.
And when I start my presentation, I'm going to begin with the part that you know, and then I will present it. But right now, let's just
right.
call it Love, the Bath Salts of Emotions, the Lisa Nowak story. So that'll be Scott and myself.
Okay.
And then we're going to go.
That is, I'm pretty sure this is the one that's in a Ben Folds song.
It is in a Ben Folds song. Very good.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of popular culture. On the if I make it to the second half, I will talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It is very good stuff.
All right, well, I will go ahead and talk about my offering here, which is...
Do it, Pete.
It's a 2023 Lebanese, quote, roadblock proposal. And it is classic. I'm just going to say classic.
Sounds rustic.
Maybe rustic, but classic.
I can hear the Cupids flying already over Lebanon. And batting cleanup, Tim, what are you bringing to today's Worstest?
John, I am going to talk about John Hinckley's attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan in his effort to impress the actress Jodie Foster.
Possibly the
Ooh, that's a good one.
that is
Legendary.
the money is on that winning. The money is on that winning. But let's see what happens.
You never know. You have to play the game, as they say.
I feel pretty confident, I have to say.
Really?
Wow, them's fighting
stupid
words.
as it is.
Wow, the
You know,
dodecahedron.
you gotta have your chip on your shoulder going in.
That's right.
You're right. If you go in thinking you're going to lose, then you are going to lose.
That's true.
That's what they say.
Guess I'm going to lose. All right, without further ado, let us like the best love stories. Let us just dive right into this, not thinking about how it may end, how it might turn out. Let us just dive into this beautiful episode all about love.
Love gone wrong. Horribly wrong.
Well, that is, well, you know, it makes for a good story anyway. And certainly a good episode of Worstest. Scott, start us off on this beautiful tunnel of love ride that is Worstest's worst romantic gesture in history. Take it away.
All right. Well, good evening, fellas. As I mentioned, I'm presenting Vincent Willem. Is that Pete
I forgot my homework.
whispering sweet nothings into my ear in the most romantic gesture? So again, I'm presenting Vincent Willem van Gogh, or Van Gogh. If I was attempting to pronounce it properly in Dutch, I trip over enough words in these sessions. So out of sheer American stubbornness and in an effort to support our Olympic athletes in Italy, I'm going to stick with Van Gogh, USA, USA.
Is that actually how you say it? Van Gogh?
Van Gogh, I heard Van Gogh. So it sounds like that the last part of his last name, you start and end with the same sort of guttural sound.
Quick side story. I used to work with a guy whose last name is Dutch. His father was from Holland.
Okay.
And when his cousin came over to visit him, she said, "You're not pronouncing our last name right at all."
To you?
No, to him
What?
himself. Yes. Apparently, he couldn't even pronounce his own last name in a real Dutch accent. That's how hard it is to kind of nail down that Dutch.
Right. So
lingo.
you'll understand why I'm going full-on Murica on this one, okay? So Van Gogh is, of course, a world-renowned artist, loved all over the world for his paintings. But he's my selection for this episode of Worstest for having engaged in a historically inept and gruesome romantic gesture in 1888 that deserves to be discussed. So here goes. Van Gogh was a Dutch post-impressionist painter who is among the most famous and influential figures in the history of Western art. Wait, do I see those geese flying over Flanders? That was amazing.
That was funny.
Wow, talk about setting the scene. So he
I
was
see tulips everywhere now.
Oh, sunflowers are my favorite. So he was born in the Netherlands in the Brabant village of Zundert on March 30th, 1853. Now, here's an interesting factoid for you. He was not the first child of the Protestant minister Theodorus van Gogh and Anna Carbentus. Another son, now please listen to this carefully. Another son named Vincent had been stillborn on the same date 1 year earlier.
Wow.
So they chose to give their second child the exact same name because maybe it won't be unlucky this time?
Had they bought a whole bunch of stuff printed with Vincent and figured, well, we don't want to buy new footsie pajamas and
I think Dad had one of those wood-burning kits and he had made so many plaques with Vincent. Yeah, they had to do it.
The Dutch are notoriously thrifty.
they are a thrifty people.
Well,
They are.
There you
All
have
this underwear says Vincent on it. We can't just throw it away. That was my Dutch accent, by the way. Excellent.
That was good.
Yeah, right?
Sure.
Terrible.
So this birth of the second Vincent went smoothly. Vincent was one of 6 siblings, having 3 sisters and 2 brothers. They were all named Anna, Theo, Will, Lise, and Cor. The Van Gogh family went on frequent walks in the area around Zundert. It is believed that exposure to the outdoors helped instill a great love of nature in this future artist. His parents had some means, and his extended family was chock full of relatives working professionally as art dealers. I bet you history will show that Vincent lived a long, a happy, and a profitable life while establishing himself ultimately as one of the world's most famous and beloved artists. Yeah, a little bit more on that now. As a young teen, it was noted that Vincent drew from time to time, but there was nothing particularly notable about his talents early on, at least. Between the ages of 13 to 14, Vincent left school. At 16, Vincent's uncle, Cent, which was short for Vincent, there seemed to be a lot of Vincents in the family, Uncle Cent helped Van Gogh get a job as a trainee at the international art dealer Goupil and C, located in The Hague. For years, he bounced around to various art dealerships before leaving Goupil in 1876. His father, the minister, noticed, as did the family, that around this time Vincent was expressing a much greater interest in religion and the Bible. Despite help from various family members for room, board, and other job opportunities, Vincent ambled through life with no clear drive to reach his goals. He was a poor student, and that resulted in him stumbling in attempts to officially become a man of the cloth. But he did serve as a lay preacher, working and living amongst the peoples of various communities he attached himself to. Now, his relationship to his brother, Theo, very, very central in his life. It seemed to be the most significant relationship he had with his brother. They began routinely corresponding or writing letters, to, as one did of the day, corresponding to one another starting in 1872. Vincent would often include little sketches in the letters he sent to Theo. This eventually led to a turning point in his life when Theo himself advised Vincent to concentrate more on his drawing. Vincent now became convinced that he could also serve God as an artist. He moved to Brussels in October of 1880, where he began to work on his drawing technique and came into contact with other artists. He no longer had a paying job, so Theo, who really helped him out financially throughout his entire adult life, sent him money for support, and this financial support from Theo and their correspondence continued through the rest of Vincent's admittedly and unfortunately short life. Now, there was a strong mental illness history with Vincent. The Van Gogh Museum really does a nice job addressing his mental health status by stating, try to keep up with this, guys, numerous suggestions as to the nature of Van Gogh's illness can be found in medical literature. Possibilities include syphilis, dementia precox, hallucinatory psychosis, alcoholism, turpentine poisoning, and gas intoxication, but also schizophrenia, a manic depressive disorder, a metabolic disorder, delirium tremens, yes, a borderline personality disorder, temporal lobe epilepsy, and perhaps even sunstroke. When he resided towards the very end of his life at the asylum at Saint-Remy, a Dr. Peyron was Vincent's physician and concluded that Van Gogh was suffering from a form of epilepsy. So to suffice to say, this poor chap had an issue or two. Getting towards the end, he was living in a place referred to as the Yellow House, and this is where the artist Gauguin will come into the picture. Vincent arrived in February of 1888, and his time in the south of France was quite a turbulent period for him. Vincent, when traveling there, he realized just how bright, airy, and colorful the area was, particularly in Arles, and he set to work enthusiastically, painting orchids in blossom, workers gathering the harvest. His style was becoming looser, much more expressive. Vincent corresponded with Theo about his plan to set up a studio in the south in Arles for painters and other artists whose work Theo, because he was an art dealer, could sell in Paris. He said to his brother, "You know, I've always thought it ridiculous for painters to live alone. You always lose when you're isolated." It's
very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which says a lot about today's world.
Yes.
I would agree.
Yes.
A lot of isolation going on. So, with this artist's colony in mind, Vincent rented 4 rooms in this yellow house on Place Lamartine. Paul Gauguin was the first, and as it would turn out, the last artist to move in with him. Gauguin arrived in late October 1888, but only after considerable coaxing and correspondence from Vincent. Theo wrote back when he heard the news, "So, Gauguin's coming. That will make a big change in your life. I hope that your efforts will succeed in making your house a place where artists will feel at home." Van Gogh and Gauguin worked hard together. Their collaboration was actually quite fruitful. However, these two creatives had very different views on art, which led to frequent, heated discussions, and not unlike the Gallagher brothers in Oasis, led to one gigantic row on December 23rd, 1888. When Gauguin threatened to leave the house, the pressure became too much, and Van Gogh did the nicest thing he could do while distraught. He threatened his friend with a razor. So now we're getting to the infamous ear
I only
circumstance.
wanted to shave him.
The mustache, it's getting very brambly.
It's so 1882.
It can be argued that this event is one of the most sensationalist but misunderstood artistic decisions in history. The repeated telling of this interesting tale is noteworthy, as there have been a variety of important details that were gotten wrong until an Irish art historian named Bernadette Murphy did some scholarly digging. She, please excuse the pun, fleshed out what took place with greater certainty and shared it in her 2016 book titled Van Gogh's Ear. With the help of the Bancroft Library, she clarified 2 very important elements of this event. Number 1, Vincent cut off almost all of his left ear, leaving only a portion of the lower lobe attached.
Ooh, that's the easy part to get rid of.
I mean, in most tellings, it was the lobe that he kind of got, or maybe just the lower portion, but that's not really what happened. And this part was fascinating. The Bancroft Library had a letter and a diagram drawn by a Dr. Felix Ray. This young intern actually treated Van Gogh's injury. The diagram was very clear. I actually saw a picture of it in my research when I was flipping through things. The diagram was clear about the nature of the injury. You could see on the side of the face, there was just this one little nubbin hanging off like closest to the cheek. Ooh. Everything else gone. So that was fascinating to discover. I can't tell you how many resources I looked at. It was all the lobe, the lower part of the ear, the lobe. Shit was gone. It was just gone. Number 2.
Yeah, that's what I had always heard and always believed, that, it wasn't really that bad. You know, he just cut off a little bit of the... Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he was the first lopper, for sure. So,
I wonder if... No, I was going to make a Leopoldin lobe joke, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not.
John, I would have admired you if you did, because I love bad dad jokes.
I'll start thinking about a better way to
I'm not done
it.
yet, John. You might
Please
come
do.
up with them.
Please do.
All right, I will. I'm going to start writing them right now.
Here's the second thing that Ms. Murphy cleared up. His ear was not handed over to a prostitute or the madam of a brothel.
What the hell did I buy?
Oh, man. As detailed in Bernadette's book, Vincent gave his until recently attached ear to a young woman named Gabrielle Berlatier. This transaction happened outside of the brothel, and according to a local newspaper report, Vincent told her, "Keep this object carefully." Kind of cryptic.
And she said, what?
She fainted on the spot is what she did. According to
I was just delivering milk.
Did she really faint?
That's what it said. Okay. Excuse me.
I guess he didn't wrap it.
No, I'm getting to that.
Oh.
So again, according to the research, the woman was not a prostitute, but a cleaner. Census records from Arles found no prostitutes named Rachel. She also uncovered a news report that said the ear's recipient was named Gabby, not Rachel. This woman named Gabrielle was only 18 years old at the time. Interesting, which was 3 years too young to be a registered prostitute. So I guess the French, they had their standards. So apparently this was sort of a pretty famous family story because Murphy tracked down Gabby's descendants who said that she had worked as a maid at the brothel to pay back costly medical bills following a bite from a rabid dog. They had very good records in this family.
They really did.
I'm telling you. Now, this part I loved. Gabby, this maid, also worked at a cafe that Van Gogh visited regularly. This suggests a closer connection between the two and strengthens the thought that she was truly the intended recipient and someone close to Vincent's heart. This exchange was reported to the police. So they were summoned and they found Vincent in grave shape, but they were able to get him to the hospital in Arles. He was treated and released in January of 1889. While he continued to paint, his mental health continued to spiral, and he had himself voluntarily admitted to St. Paul de Massol Psychiatric Hospital in Saint-Remy in May of 1889. His year spent there, it was about a year at the asylum, it was frantically productive from an artistic standpoint. It's estimated he finished approximately 3 paintings per week during this period. 2 months after his release from the asylum, he'd be dead. Vincent van Gogh died at the age of 37 in the early morning of July the 29th, 1890, in his room at the guest house Auberge Ravoux in the French village of Auvers-sur-Oise after shooting himself in the chest 2 days prior while suffering a depressive episode.
Do you mean the episode? Your French has been beautiful, by the
Well,
way.
and I don't speak a lick of it.
Well.
What's lick in French, by the way?
Liqué.
What did I do to your forehead earlier today, Pete? So I'm just going to summarize this right now. Why is this the worst romantic gesture? Look, we are all mad in some ways and out of control when we're in love. And we all do some strange things. But of all the things this man could have handed over to this woman, I looked it up. In his day, he could have presented the object of his desire with many different things to express his fondness and his love for her. Perfume, silk ribbons, a lovely purse, a locket filled with hair, although in retrospect, that does seem a little bit creepy today. A decorative tin filled with bonbons. Hell, he could have handed her one of his works of art that eventually would have been worth enough that she could buy up all the land in her village and build a fucking castle. But instead, poor old Vincent hands over the severed portion of most of his left ear. I submit that this erroneous choice, this gruesome gift, this terrible romantic gesture earns him the right to be worstest. And now, for my closing, this may seem an odd choice, but I'd like to close this presentation out with a limerick. Here we go. A Dutchman with the name of Van Gogh had decided to put on a show. He grabbed for his razor, which cut like a laser. Now his ear resides down by his toe. Thank you very much.
Bravo, bravo.
Nice, nice.
Wow.
Absolutely terrible.
It really was sad reading about him.
Yeah,
It's a sad
that's
story.
He's my favorite artist. Loved him forever. And you dive in, it's just your heart hurts for the guy.
But not only did he die at 37, but he only started his artwork
the
at
last
like 30.
10 years of his life
crazy.
is when he was productive. I have other stuff I want to say.
He almost did nothing until he was like 29 or something. It was
Most of his
ridiculous.
amazing stuff was done at the asylum.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop because I'm hoping to get to the next round, and then I can tell you some more.
Well, did we applaud? We applauded.
We did,
Yes,
we
we
did.
And thank you very much, fellas.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. No, you mentioned that he may have had epilepsy. I've read somewhere that Dostoevsky had epilepsy.
Yes.
And there's something about epilepsy that can really trigger a genius in people.
In a couple of his books, he describes an epileptic, how he had epileptic fits, or seizures, I should say. And it's really fascinating. And yes, for some epileptics, there's points of like deep insight.
Yes.
And that's what possibly both of these
Yeah.
Manhattan.
He talked about that it was like a second or two of like this bright light and of like just incredible, as you said, insight into, philosophy, the mind, all kinds of stuff. And Harriet Tubman as well had a
Really?
traumatic brain injury that triggered epileptic seizures. And she also was brilliant in, the story about how she got 300 people to freedom without losing a single person. Imagine doing that. Imagine making your way from the South up north in the 1800s without roads, cars, flashlights, GPS, and not losing anybody. I mean, that's amazing. And she always seemed to know the exact way to go. She had this like preternatural ability to know exactly where to avoid traps. So again, yeah, it seems like the epilepsy can just unleash this sort of, as you said, this creative genius.
Yeah, her traumatic, I'm not making a joke here, her traumatic brain injury came from some white dude who smashed her across the head with a cinder block.
With an iron, I thought.
An iron. Oh, okay, yeah, an iron,
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. Yeah, that's what caused it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no joke there.
No.
Yeah,
no.
for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that made me think of that when I didn't realize Van Gogh had epilepsy, or may have had epilepsy.
Yeah, amongst about
Well,
1,000
yeah.
other
Right.
potential
Yeah.
diagnoses.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot of
crazy.
possibilities.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I like seeing dementia praecox in there, though. I love dementia. I mean, I don't love dementia.
He said pray cocks.
Eat praecox. There's your dad joke for you. All right, Scott, fantastic. I hope that this at least isn't eclipsed by yours.
Well, I do like bath salts, so I can't wait.
Well, then you're good, because here we have Love, the Bath Salts of Emotions, the Lisa Nowak story. Today, we will look at the worst romantic gesture in our recent history. A story that takes us as high as the far reachers of our solar system and as low as a pair of extra absorbent space diapers. Lisa Marie Caputo, like so many people born in 1963, watched the Apollo 11 moon mission in 1969 and felt something stir inside of her.
Wait a
Scott has this
second.
look of,
I think I hear the rumblings of a pickup truck
you do, my
driving hours and hours and hours.
900 miles to be exact.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Continue, my friend.
Here we go. So like I was saying, Lisa Marie Caputo, like
No whack, plenty whack.
yeah. Ooh. Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. So she was born in 1963, and in 1969, she watched the Apollo 11 moon mission, and she felt something stir inside of her. I didn't write that for that intended, but yes, that... Anyway, like those before her who saw the ocean and felt the call to sail it, first to be cradled by the waves and later to conquer them, or those who looked at the sky and yearned to be the equal of clouds, eagles, and lightning. She watched in her own living room the grainy black and white images of people sailing through the heavens like foil-wrapped angels. 6-foot-tall space burritos, if you will. Kubrick had nothing to do with any of that, by the way, you stupid pickleheads. But she looked at all of that and she thought, that is what I want to do. While growing up, she followed the space shuttle program, particularly the introduction of female astronauts in 1978, and paid frequent visits to the National Air and Space Museum. This is something I can do. She excelled in both sports and academics in high school, and when it came time for colleges to accept her, both Brown University and the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, came calling. Her parents thought Brown was the best choice.
Brown. Oh man, I can't. I fucking can't.
Maybe I'm going to win this one.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
So her parents thought Brown was the best choice, but Caputo felt that she had more chance of achieving her goal of becoming an astronaut by going to the Naval Academy at Annapolis. So, Annapolis it was. Women were first admitted to Annapolis in 1976, and by the time Caputo entered as a plebe in 1981, women only made up 6% of the student body. Female midshipmen were still harassed by some classmates, male classmates in 1981, and occasionally a male professor would inform a class that he did not think women belonged there. It didn't matter. She graduated on May 22nd, 1985, with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aeronautical Engineering and was commissioned as an ensign. Ensign?
Ensign.
Ensign.
Ensign, yeah. Okay.
Ensign, yes. Very
She was
good.
commissioned as an ensign in the United States Navy. This is something I will do. For her first assignment, always keeping an eye on her prize, Caputo chose a 6-month temporary assignment to the Johnson Space Center, where she worked as an aerospace engineer at its branch at Ellington Air Force Base. In December 1985, Caputo received orders to report to Naval Air Station Pensacola in Florida for flight training. Getting accepted into flight training was a major achievement, and those women that did so were often resented by men who were passed over. This did not stop her. Over the next 10 years, she learned to fly the T-2 Buckeye, the T-39 Saberliner, the TA-4J Skyhawk, and both the Corsair II and Douglas ERA-3B Sky Warrior, supporting the U.S. Pacific Fleet on reconnaissance mission exercises.
Awesome.
This is like a fifth of what she's done. She qualified as a mission commander and electronic warfare lead. In the middle of all of that, in 1988, she got married and took her husband's last name, Nowak. In 1990, Nowak entered the U.S. Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, where she earned both a Master's of Science degree in Aeronautical Engineering and a degree in Aeronautical and Astronautical Engineering in September of 1992. She wrote a thesis of computational investigations of an NACA 0012 airfoil in low Reynolds number flows. And then, because that
I think I read that on the toilet last week.
That's been done to death.
And then because that wasn't enough, in the midst of all of that, she gave birth to a son.
Quite an accomplished person.
Really?
Not even halfway done.
She's not even 30 years old yet.
She was selected to attend the United States Naval Test Pilot School at Naval Air Station Pawtuxent River, Maryland, after she applied 6 times. She graduated in June of 1994 and then became an aircraft systems project officer at the Air Combat Environment Test and Evaluation Facility and at Strike Aircraft Test Squadron at Pawtuxent River. As a naval flying officer / flight test engineer, she participated in the development of the FA-18 Hornet NEA-6B Prowler.
Wow.
Her next assignment was to the Naval Air Systems Command, where she was involved in the acquisition of new systems for naval aircraft. During her career in the Navy, Nowak logged over 1,500 hours of flight time in more than 30 different aircraft and was awarded the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy Commendation Medal, and the Navy Achievement Medal.
It's only 50 hours in it per aircraft.
That's practically kicking the tires and walking away.
That's right.
Well, she must have mastered them pretty quickly to move on to the next one. Yeah, this
I
one's
guess
old
so.
hat.
After all of that, NASA came calling.
I bet.
On June 15th, 1995, NASA announced it was selecting a new group of astronauts. NASA received over 2,400 applications, and in early 1996, Nowak was informed that she was one of 150 finalists deemed highly qualified, and she was asked to report to Johnson Space Center for a week of orientation, interviews, and medical evaluations. In May of 1996, NASA publicly announced the names of 10 pilot and 25 mission specialist candidates. Nowak was one of the latter. Astronaut training included survival training, a 3-day trip to the Grand Canyon to study geology, and classwork on the space shuttle's many systems. As a mission specialist, she was expected to fly a minimum of 4 hours a month in NASA's Northrop T-38 Talon aircraft. Training was conducted in the waters of the Weightless Environment Training Facility and in the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, which we all know much better by its nickname, the
Vomit Comet.
Vomit Comet. That flies a trajectory that gives the sensation of being in space. She completed her astronaut training in August of 1998. This is something I am doing. In 2001, she gave birth to twins. And in 2002, her husband was recalled to active duty in 2002 to participate in Operation Enduring Freedom, which effectively left Novak a single mother with 3 young children. The Space Shuttle Columbia disaster on February 1st, 2003, killed 7 astronauts on the STS-107 mission, including 3 from NOAC's 1996 astronaut class. It was NASA's practice to provide the families of astronauts who had died with a personal casualty assistance officer, and NOAC performed this duty.
Oh, man.
For the family, I'm going down. This is fucking sad. For the family of her close friend,
Oh, Jesus.
Laurel Clark. Clark's widower, Jonathan Clark, a former NASA flight surgeon, recalled that, quote unquote, she did everything. She went through everything: Navy paperwork, finances, bills, bank accounts. She took care of Clark's son, Ian, during the months afterward. She saw what it was like to lose one of her best friends.
You got this, man.
I do. She saw what it was like to lose one of her best friends and for Ian to lose a mother. And the thing is, while Lisa was doing this, she was not at home with her kids. She has 2 very young children, and she is here 12 to 14 hours a day under the most difficult circumstances. I have to think it was hugely stressful. I would like to say that up until this point now, we're talking about 15 years from the late 80s to 2004.
This person's an angel.
This woman is an angel, absolutely amazing. What did I do in this time, in this 15 years? I bought a yellow Miata, and I had a drink named for me in some bar in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Nice.
That's it. That's really all I accomplished in those 15 years.
That's something.
You peed outside on a rock once, didn't you?
I also peed outside in my own pants a few times.
We have to walk before we fly, John.
She flew before she walked.
Yes.
Anyway, in January of 2004, NOAC participated in an 11-day cold weather survival training course in Canada with a group of international astronauts and a fellow NASA astronaut, William Ophaline. I'm absolutely mispronouncing that word. It's like 18 different vowels. I'm saying Ophaline, and I'll probably change it as I go on
Is
through
it
this
Dutch?
story.
Because maybe it's
How's it spelled?
Ophelin. Ooh. I'll make believe it's Dutch, and I'll just say the same noise in the beginning of the end. It's what they do. I'll throw a tulip at the end. NOAC had worked together with Ophaline, who had been selected as an astronaut with the class of 1989, when they were both stationed at Pawtuxet River in 1995. When NOAC and Ophaline returned to Houston, they began an extramarital affair, which they attempted to conceal. She was able to. Ophaline could not. His wife divorced him in 2005. Ophaline moved into a small apartment to which he gave NOAC a key. She left personal effects there, and she soon became a familiar sight to other residents of the complex. She even cheated on her spouse better than other people do. She didn't get caught. This guy did.
I am doing this now.
So she's moving in, or not moving in, but she's keeping residence.
Double life, a little bit of a double life.
A little bit of a double life. Cue the bath salts of love.
Uh-oh.
But not before we go into space. On July 1st, 2006, the Space Shuttle Discovery took off from the Kennedy Space Center with Lisa Nowak aboard as a mission specialist, her husband and 3 children seeing her off as she ascended. Like the clouds, like the eagles, like a bolt of lightning, like an angel, like a foil space burrito, into the heavens. The mission lasted 19 days, and she returned on July 19th. I did this. By January 2007, Nowak's marriage failed, and she separated from Richard. Her relationship with Ophaline also cooled, although she continued to call him almost every day. In late 2006, Ophaline began a relationship with U.S. Air Force Captain Colleen Shipman. Ophaline informed Nowak about Shipman in January. He thought Nowak took it well and that they could remain friends. They continued to train for the MS-150, a charity bicycle race, but Shipman became uncomfortable with Nowak's bicycle being kept at Ophaline's place. She asked him to have Nowak remove it. At the end of January 29th, 2007 to be exact, NASA announced that Stephanie Wilson had been chosen as the mission specialist for the STS-120 mission, a mission to fly the space shuttle to the International Space Station. Nowak had hoped for this assignment. According to Mark Kelly, Wilson was chosen because she was a team player and well-deserving. Nowak was not. Oof. Nowak was assigned to Capcom duties for the STS-123 instead. Basically, Capcom is the in-between person between the people on a space crew and anyone on Earth who needs to speak with them. They are like an old-timey switchboard operator in the basement of an office building in the 1950s.
Also known as air.
Basically. Number, please. Clink. The incident. On February 4th, 2007, Nowak packed latex gloves, a black wig, a BB pistol, and ammunition, pepper spray, a hooded tan trench coat, a drilling hammer, black gloves, an 8-inch Gerber folding knife, and other items.
Like 75 Depends diapers.
So hold on.
That shipment ain't going to sail with my man.
An 8-inch knife is that's like half a machete.
It's like a Bowie knife.
Unbelievable.
It ain't good.
Yeah. Well, I'll just carry. I'll bring my 8-inch knife with me.
I am doing this.
I am cutting things. Big things. She drove her husband's car 900 miles from Houston to Orlando, Florida, to confront Shipman. Early police reports stated that she wore maximum absorbency garments during the trip, but she later denied this because that would make her seem crazy.
It would.
Not the knife.
Not the 8-inch knife.
No.
Oh, let's not forget also the, what was it?
The pistol? And ammunition?
The
jackhammer,
BB pistol, the drilling hammer. The drilling hammer is honestly the thing that's truly bothering me.
That's a little unusual.
Yeah.
What would you do with that, Pete? Tim, how big a hole could you bore with a drilling hammer?
I don't want to know.
No. I certainly don't want to think of it as where she might be thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, on February 5th, 2007, Nowak traveled to Orlando International Airport and waited for Shipman's plane to touch down. Shipman said that after arriving, she became aware of someone following her to an airport satellite parking area. When she entered her car, she heard running footsteps and quickly locked the door. Nowak slapped the window and tried to open the car door, asked for a ride, then started crying. Shipman rolled down the window a couple of inches, after which Nowak sprayed the pepper spray into the car. Shipman drove to the parking lot booth where she called the police. Several Orlando Police Department Airport Division officers arrived minutes later. An officer observed Nowak throwing a bag into a trash receptacle at a parking shuttle bus stop. Nowak was subsequently arrested at the airport on charges of attempted kidnapping, battery, attempted vehicle burglary with battery, and destruction of evidence. Citing evidence of elaborate planning, disguises, and weapons, police recommended she be held without bail.
She probably meant to hang a large picture. Come on.
Maybe a Van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night.
Yes.
It is large. On February 6, 2007, Nowak was placed on a 30-day leave by NASA. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, this is just some kooky lady. This isn't a romantic gesture. This is just someone who is ticked off that she lost out on a promotion and couldn't keep her bike at her ex-boyfriend's house. Well, prick up your ears, mother fudgers, and I'll learn you something about space love.
Space love.
On April 10, 2007, Florida prosecutors released more material in the case. The previous week, the trial judge had agreed to unseal some of the documents that described items found in Nowak's car after her arrest. Among these items were a handwritten note on USS Nimitz stationery listing shipment's flight information and one on flight controller log paper listing more than 24 items, including sneakers, plastic gloves, contacts, cash, an umbrella, and black sweats.
And
A shovel
hammer.
and 35 pounds of lye.
A floppy disk contained 2 photographs of Nowak riding in a bicycle race and 15 images depicting an unidentified woman in different stages of undress.
She was still using floppy disks in
I was
2007?
going to say, what?
Man, give it the times, lady.
So the military uses floppy disks.
Oh, okay.
It's actually so archaic that most hackers can't hack into it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, a lot of our defense system and such is on floppy disks.
Wow.
I'm envisioning those computer rooms like, that Sergeant Nelson and Major Healy would be in and, like the twisty little things.
That's probably still around. Recently, they were looking to update it all, and there's no security whatsoever. They're trying to digitize all this stuff, and that's for another podcast, another episode. Where was I? A floppy disk containing 2 photographs of Nowak riding in a bicycle race and 15 images depicting an unidentified woman in different stages of undress. An evidence report dated March 15th indicated that nearly all of the photographs and drawings depicted scenes of bondage. Also found were 585 American dollars and 41 pounds in cash. And 4 brown paper bags with 69 orange pills that were not publicly identified. I did a search on orange pills and
Nothing came up.
St. Joseph's aspirin, and that's about it. But investigators also examined 2 USB flash drives found in the car. They contained family pictures, digital movies, and NASA-related materials. Now, Oferline had provided Nowak with a cell phone to communicate with him. Phone records show that she called him at least 12 times and sent 7 text messages the day after he returned from his space shuttle flight on December 22nd, 2006, that he did not retrieve until December 24th, when they had a 7-minute conversation. During December and January, over 100 calls were made, although it is unclear who called whom. Under questioning by NASA and military investigators, Oferline reportedly stated that he had ended their romantic relationship. He did, however, have lunch with her in his apartment at least once in January, and they continued to train together for the bicycle race, and they went to the gym together. My friends, we do not know what her intents were. Were they to Were they to strike out at Colleen Shipman? To kidnap her? To put that knife to some nefarious and sanguine use? And was she striking out at Colleen Shipman at all? Maybe her 900-mile drive wasn't towards Colleen Shipman, but maybe it was a drive away from something. Maybe she was fleeing as fast as that borrowed car could take her, the ancient, patriarchal rule that tried to keep her feet to the floor, her body here on earth, her heart beating alone in her chest, and her dreams as far from the heavens as they could. It was love that made her strike out at Colleen Shipman, a love she harbored in her heart the first time she saw a grainy dream on a small box in her living room in 1969. She drove at a mad-paced rate away from the mocking, the upturned noses, the snide remarks, the men who used her to have babies with, to train for space with, to bicycle with, who all turned their backs on her, abandoned her with the only thing that she loved, her dream of the heavens. That pepper spray, crazy wig, trench coat, and 8-inch knife, maybe they were a plan for a blood offering to the fates, to her past, to the promise of a future, a different future, the future she loved. This is something I could do.
Wow.
You know, John, I think Squeaky Fromm wants to hire you as her defense attorney.
She was beautiful once.
So
Wow.
what's the bath salts?
Do you remember when people were taking bath salts like 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go crazy and eat people's legs.
Oh, she was taking bath salts.
No. I'm just
What's that? Bath salts of love?
bath salts of love. So love made her crazy.
Oh, gotcha.
That's where the insanity.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is this: when I first jumped on this thing, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is a person. She drove in poopy pants.
Brown. You know, I missed an opportunity. You were talking about like would she get into flight school? Depends.
When I was writing that, I didn't even pick up on the brown. Well done. But yeah, when I first looked at this, I'm like, okay, this is going to be funny, and it'll be a funny thing. And there's of course some humor in it. But when I started reading about it, I'm like, fuck, this person is amazing. This is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
And once again, and there's so many people. The first one that came to my mind was like the elderly woman who had the coffee spilled on her in McDonald's, and everyone, she became a punchline. But in fact, it was insanely hot coffee.
Yeah.
She was scalded. It like literally destroyed her, and she died from it.
Oh,
she died
did?
from complications.
Oh,
of
wow.
It.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So, once again, these small funny things that we make fun of, yes. And I am certainly not mocking or giggling at the poopy pants, because that is why I took this, the mocking of the 900-mile trek in high absorbency Depends.
So she wore those because she couldn't stop?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have gotten there in time. She had timed it out.
Wow.
What was that toilet reading I did about her clocking the, I think she used her sextant to plan the trip down to Cape Canaveral or wherever. No,
It's dedication.
I'm telling you.
Right. Yeah.
Now, was there like a sign associated with this? Like, danger, this woman might be lovesick. like the hot coffee sign that.
After that? Oh, yeah. No, after
came
that,
to be after.
every pair of Depends now has caution. Do not drive more than 500 miles because of love.
That's right.
It's
And please change after 150 miles.
They're also, I don't think they're meant for like full loads. It's just if you have a tiny accident.
it's a dribble.
Yeah.
It's a dribble device.
It's not meant to it's not meant to replace a toilet. Put it that way.
I've worn this for a week.
Yeah,
you say.
I got a lot to do today. I'm
You,
just
you
gonna
don't wear
skip
Depends
the
much, do
bathroom.
you?
Right?
I heard about dudes in like frats. They have like Depends parties.
Yeah, I've
and
heard that.
Yeah. Well, people do it for New Year's Eve, watching the ball drop, because you can't leave.
Right, yeah, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. Well, there is somewhere to go.
Well, yeah. Not on my bucket list, let me tell you.
No.
Yeah.
in a bucket would be way better in that moment.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, let's do it.
So, but what I want to say is, once again, I started looking at it, and I started reading this, and I'm like, all this woman's accomplishments just distilled down into wearing a pair of poopy pants. And I remember hearing how it was a lesbian lover she was going after. That was something that was in the news also, because she was.
That's not at all what
No.
you shared, though. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
but
yeah.
that was part of what the news. And
Yes, it wasn't salacious enough.
Right, exactly. And even I was reading some magazine articles on all this, and they're just horrifically salacious, and they do not talk at all about her past.
All right, Pete, on that
Wah,
note,
wah, wah.
we have a tough call here.
We do. I was just thinking that both Scott and John were pretty lacking in detail on the romance part of these gestures.
Going to say that the criticism I would make is that it's not altogether clear what the romantic gesture. Well, it was clear what Van Gogh. With Van Gogh, cutting off the ear was clear, but if what was it a romantic gesture?
Right.
who was it toward is still
Right.
unclear.
Right.
Whereas with Nowak, what's her first name again?
Lisa.
Sorry, Lisa Nowak.
Say her name.
She definitely, it was love that made her
There
do
was
this,
love
but the
involved,
romantic
yeah.
gesture itself is a
Right.
bit vague. What
Right,
was
right,
the
right.
romantic gesture?
Right.
So
Well,
yeah,
maybe it's a romantic
yeah, it's
it burns. Romantic gesture you maybe not want to have been receiving, but a romantic gesture nonetheless.
yeah,
It's all about the 8-inch knife.
right.
Pepper spray, an 8-inch knife, and a pair of pants.
I'm not trying to tilt the scales one way or the other as a participant, but clearly you could view Vincent's actions as a momentary urge versus a strong, strong commitment by someone else. I mean, they're on completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
effort-wise,
Van
if you
Gogh,
will.
Van Gogh seemed to have no impulse control whatsoever, and Lisa Nowak, boy, she seemed like she was in complete control of her entire life.
I mean, all
Until she wasn't.
yeah,
yes, all
But
that
still
stuff
in
that she did is
control
Crazy.
as far as attempting to reach a goal. I mean, the detail was amazing, John. Nicely done.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, they
the
were both
worst
well
told. Oh, she did it
romantic
for me.
gesture. Worst romantic gesture.
romantic gesture.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm inclined to go with Mr. Dorsick's character, but I don't.
Wait, my character or the character I presented?
I don't.
You don't want to go with my character.
Heavens, I don't. It's still hard to rectify that with the romantic, the romantic nature.
Like I said, it's the love of her life. Ultimately, is what she was doing. That's what she was. That was the gesture, the love of her life.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I could go either way as always.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could go with Lisa Nowak as the worst romantic gesture. Do you have an opinion one way or the other?
Yeah, I mean, I'm torn. I was leaning toward Van Gogh because it's so dramatic, but at the same time, I'm not sure it was a romantic gesture.
Right.
It might have been just this impulse, this moment of insanity that he
Right.
needed to do this or as a cry
It's
of
always
help.
classified that way as a romantic
Yeah,
gesture.
yeah.
right?
Whereas the other one clearly was a gesture. It clearly was about love or
Yeah.
something like it. It's intense. And coming from a woman who was so accomplished, and
Yeah.
so accomplished in life, whereas Van Gogh, all his accomplishments happened when he was alive, but they weren't accepted
They
as
weren't-
accomplishments
they weren't
until after
recognized
well
until
after
much-
he died.
Very
well
true.
after.
Very true.
So they're both very accomplished people. I think I'll go with Nowak as well, only because it's a clear romantic gesture, and certainly not a good one.
No. Okay.
Listen, there's people who have,
It may have been worse.
They have Disney weddings, and this is not to blaspheme Disney weddings, but there are over the top crazy Disney weddings. Oh, she's gonna dress as Goofy, and I'm gonna be, peg leg Sam, and I'm gonna get pegged by Goofy, and I saw it once. I saw it in a movie, and
We don't kink shame here on this podcast.
no, we do not. No, we do not. And
He's
that
been working up to this the whole night.
that is not
Hasn't he?
that is
Goofy
not.
getting pegged.
No, pegged by Goofy.
Why do you think he
That
talks
would
like,
be goofy.
Why do you think he talks like that? Before the pegging, he spoke like this. Hello, everybody. Gee, Mickey. And then suddenly you heard the
Gosh.
you heard the strap on cinch up, and then suddenly, that's exactly how I'd be talking. Anyway.
Okay. So it is done.
So the first round. Look at me going to the second
Awarded to
round.
John.
Nowak whacked off. Wait a second. Hang on. Nowak whacked Vincent.
How about Vincent whacked by Nowak?
Yes.
Excellent. There we go.
It sounds like a New York Post headline.
I think it is.
It does. It does.
Well, exciting. Exciting stuff.
Nice job,
And
John.
Phil,
Nice job,
thank you
nice
very
job.
much.
Well
Thank God,
earned.
Scott. Thank
Well
you.
earned.
And you know what? Once again, Scott always bringing in excellent educational information.
Oh, go on, you.
It's true. And now I can be
No,
that.
really, go on.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be that douche at parties. Oh, you know what? Van Gogh, he just cut a little bit of his ear off. No, actually, he did not, and it didn't go to a prostitute.
Ask Dr. Felix Ray.
Jim, go make me a martini. I've got 78 minutes to talk about Van Gogh's ear. Everybody stay around now. And you stay around, folks, because we'll be right back after some beautiful and inspirational romantic music.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll be taking your calls in about 30 minutes.
Hi, is this Lana of Love?
Yes, you're on the air. How can I help you?
I've got problems with love, Lana.
Tell me all about them.
Well, I was coming out of the brothel that I clean, and a fellow gave me 3/4 of his ear.
Was this down in Disney World?
No, it was in Le
Oh, I see you're Dutch.
Wait, we don't have time for that. We have to go to the second half.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We'll have to cut off Lana there.
No, poor Lana. She'll never know. Maybe she'll call back.
I hope she finds love.
Me too. I hope we all find love.
Maybe one day.
I already have, guys.
We keep kicking. One day we'll find it.
It's so true. Well, until that day happens, let's try to find who's going to win the second round of Worstest, where Pete and Tim will be battling it out. And without any further ado, that's French.
Pete, take it away.
I am Pete, and I'm coming at you with the 2023 Lebanese roadblock proposal.
I have no idea what this is about.
I didn't either. I did not either.
Are AK-47s involved in this?
We'll get to that.
Oh my gosh. I sense this.
So this event was circulated heavily on TikTok and Instagram in mid-2023. And as a result of, the medium that it was distributed on, I don't quite have the detail of information that you guys have on these people, but what I have is good. It's good. So let's just start with the stunt and its orchestration. While a young woman was driving with a friend in Lebanon, a black SUV with tinted windows, which are often associated with militia activity in Lebanon. I mean, here...
Oh, not at all.
That's like...
Militia activity.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the black SUV with tinted windows swerved in front of them, forcing them to halt in Lebanon. Several men in tactical gear and wearing balaclavas jumped out, brandishing what appeared to be assault rifles, which were later confirmed to be high-quality props. Not really assault rifles, folks. Don't worry.
What the F?
The men screamed at the woman, pulled her from the driver's seat, and forced her into the SUV while she was visibly hysterical and terrified. The woman's best friend, the two of them were in the car driving together. The woman's best friend stayed in the car to record the reaction and ensure the victim stayed in place. A detail many Instagram and TikTok viewers cited as a profound psychological betrayal. I concur.
Wholeheartedly.
The kidnappers drove the woman a short distance to a scenic overlook where the boyfriend was waiting.
Oh my gosh.
As she was pulled from the car, the masks came off and the boyfriend dropped to one knee with a ring and a bouquet. Oh my good God. The woman did not just cry. She hyperventilated, pleaded for her life, and had to be physically dragged from the vehicle. This final scene forced her brain to transition from "I'm about to die" to "I am being proposed to" in a matter of a few seconds. Something we can do regularly.
I have to think that this woman could not see clearly what was going on.
No.
The fact that these guys didn't have their masks on anymore, she was not... Emotions had flooded her, and she had no clue as to what was going on.
100% right.
That is nuts.
It is crazy. I mean, it would be crazy to do it in Lindenhurst, but to do it in Lebanon where this stuff actually happens is beyond.
It's just so total lunacy.
Why would you think this is a good idea? I'm going to propose
Well, the fact that she was
to
even
my true love.
dating this guy, like, didn't she get a window? This guy was out of his mind.
Oh my God.
I would think he'd get a window into a person like this.
So
Well, she did.
Yeah,
That window was streaked with grime.
man.
yeah, so apparently after somehow gathering herself together, she said yes to the proposal.
Probably just to get out of there.
Really?
It's amazing, amazing. So why this was uniquely worse is basically this. Lebanon has a living memory of civil war, real roadblocks and disappearances, and recreating this for a surprise was seen as deeply disrespectful, aka crazy.
Just a bad idea.
Tone deaf doesn't even begin to describe what this is.
How did you get that many people to think it was a good idea? And one of those people would just say, dude, this is an awful idea. We can't do this.
All right.
Everyone else went along with it.
So here's this is the counterpoint to that. So
Here comes Squeaky From's attorney.
it really is. Yes. Yes. It's like doing a math problem, and if every single part of that long math problem has a 4 in it, the 4s all cancel out, and you can cut them all, you can X them all out. I forgot what that's called in math, but it's a thing in math. I remember it back from the day.
I think I call it thingy.
The thingy, when
Yeah, right.
when you take the 4 thingies out. In the same thing, if you all have a shared traumatic experience, so you're living in Lebanon, all you see are assault rifles and guns and black SUVs, they become so ubiquitous that you don't think of them as something that's horrible and terrible. They're like, oh yeah, that's the
Don't worry, I'm not going to bring my real gun. I'll bring a fake gun.
Exactly. And that it's just so ubiquitous and it's always there that it doesn't really, you don't think of it as anything, you don't think of it. You just don't think of it.
Now, if he was carrying an 8-inch knife, that would be another story.
Certainly if he was carrying a ham sandwich.
Well, that doesn't exactly explain her emotional reaction to being tossed
You wouldn't think
by
so.
these black-clad gentlemen.
No, but it
Some
does.
people are just weak, Scott. That's all.
Where's the intestinal fortitude these days?
If that happened in America, she wouldn't have cried. But it does explain her saying yes afterwards. It's scary, and it's going to be scary. But it explains why nobody said this is a bad idea, and why after the initial shock, she said yeah. Because,
Well, one thing I can definitely tell you is I don't know if they got married or where they are right now. Maybe they're all dead. It is Lebanon, after all.
or maybe they're happy.
Wah, wah. Yep. Maybe.
Well,
Maybe she paid him back with some other crazy concoction she dreamed of.
Here comes Goofy. You're going to love this, honey.
I want to give you something as wonderful and unexpected as you gave me.
Don't take that mask off.
And don't look in the closet. Oh no, Goofy! Everyone knows about Goofy.
The last little thing I'm going to say is, in a region where many carry personal protection and security forces are on high alert, the, quote, actors could have easily been shot by a passing patrol or bystander.
Excellent
Very
point.
much.
Excellent
Very
point.
true.
I guess the last thing I'm going to say here, and, I do have some part 2 stuff, so, listen, I'm not...
You didn't
I'm
empty your
looking
clip
ahead.
just yet, Pete, have you?
I'm looking ahead.
Empty your clip of
The
genius.
guy I'm going to do emptied his clip.
Well, basically, all I can say here is the difference, I think, between this event and the others that we're talking about is that this person and these people are theoretically, psychologically not insane. That this is like somebody said, "Oh, I got a great idea," right? And 12 other people said, "Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it."
She'll never forget this.
That's all I'm just going to say. I mean, let's call it a dramatic wedding proposal.
Yes. Full of drama.
All right, very nice,
Full of
Pete.
drama.
Very nice.
All right. right. Well,
Well done, Pete.
nice. And now rounding this all up, bringing it back.
I just hope this next one is it's more relaxed and laid back. I can
sure-
only hope.
I'm sure it will
I
be.
don't think my heart can take much more of this.
I'm sure it will be.
Well, Scott,
your
buckle
heart,
up.
your heart will go on.
It all starts on a hammock.
Well, I'm going to start on the afternoon of March 30th, 1981. This is the day that John Hinckley Jr. shoots Ronald Reagan. President Ronald Reagan. Are you ready? Yes. We're all old enough to remember this day, aren't we?
I do remember it. I remember it pretty clearly. Yeah.
Yep. I was in fourth grade. I was picked up from school by my mom. It was raining that day. And in the car, the news came on about George Washington Hospital president. And I thought, the president of George Washington Hospital was shot? And my mother said, no, Timmy, the president was shot. Little Timmy was a little slow in the uptake back then. So this was momentous news. The president of the United States has been shot. And this is their story behind that. Again, on the afternoon of March 30th, Van Gogh's birthday, by the way. I noticed that when you said that.
Oh.
1981, after giving a speech to the AFL-CIO at the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., President Ronald Reagan was shot by a would-be assassin named John Hinckley Jr. Americans once again braced themselves to the possibility of another slain president and were once again left wondering why someone would commit such a heinous act. As it turns out, the motive for this particular crime would be one of the strangest in American history.
It was the economy, right?
Well, it was tanking at the time. And it was possibly the most notorious example of life imitating art. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's start with the shooter. John Warnock Hinckley Jr. was born in Ardmore, Oklahoma on May 29th,
You said it all.
1955.
That middle name and that hometown.
Well, now wait till you get a load of his upbringing. You might be surprised to learn what kind of a background John Hinckley has. His father, John Sr., was a founder and chief executive of Vanderbilt Energy Corporation. He was from a very prominent family. In fact, there are several odd coincidences here that more than a few people have pointed to as proof of a conspiracy. For starters, his father, John Sr., was a financial backer of Vice President George H.W. Bush's failed 1980 presidential campaign.
Revenge.
If you recall that, George H.W. Bush was running in the primary against Reagan. He's the one who actually called Reagan's economic plan voodoo economics.
Right.
Now, after Reagan confirmed,
Wait.
Yeah.
Hinckley's father
Hinckley's father was...
called it. He's the one who coined voodoo economics?
No.
No, George
He was
H.W. Bush.
bankrolling him.
He was a financial donor to George H.W. Bush's early bid for the Republican nomination.
Yes.
Once Reagan secured the nomination, he took on Bush as his vice president.
Right. Yes. I always thought Bush said voodoo economics, but then I thought.
Right. It was Bush. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, this is March 30th, 1981. Reagan was inaugurated January 20th, 1981. He's been president for a little over 2 months. And already there's rumors that he might have died after being shot. The other strange coincidence is that John Hinckley Jr.'s older brother, Scott, was supposed to have dinner at Neil Bush's house the next day. The vice president's son, Neil Bush. He wisely canceled after the shooting. I mean, can you imagine? If Reagan had died, the conspiracy theories surrounding this would be just as crazy as the Kennedy conspiracies.
Wow.
There are some people who still propose that Hinckley was somehow put up to this by the Bush family. But again, when you know all the facts, this is obviously not true. It's an odd coincidence, to be sure.
Hinckley doesn't believe that, but they do.
Yeah. Well, here's something else that's odd. As an added wrinkle, the Hinckley family moved to Dallas, Texas, when John Sr. Moved his business, Vanderbilt Energy.
Like the headquarters?
The headquarters, right, was moved to Dallas. And the family lived in University Park, a very nice suburb of Dallas. That means that At 7 years old, John Hinckley Jr. was living in a Dallas suburb when Kennedy was assassinated at Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas.
Do we know where he was that day?
Well, I was going to say, no one seriously considers John Hinckley Jr. a suspect in the Kennedy assassination, but he was there. I'll just leave it at that.
That explains. He was 7.
I heard he
He
read
was
it.
7 years old,
And I heard he deposited a book once.
but that's why no one suspects him.
It was Clifford the Big Red Dog. And he was so short. That's why they didn't have a picture of him at the grassy knoll, because the bush was over his head.
Oh,
the,
my God.
The George Bush.
Stop the podcast. We
Solved it.
Call the FBI.
Oh my God, the lights just went out, people.
You know, I heard the Bush itself was the assassin. That's why no one noticed it, man. It was right hiding in plain sight. Okay,
They
anyway.
can be wily, them bushes.
They're very wily, yeah,
They
especially
were-
Texas Bush.
There was also some sorghum. That looked suspicious, is what I'm
You
saying.
got to mind the sorghum, especially in November. But isn't that weird?
That is very
His
odd.
father, a financial backer of the vice president, they lived in Dallas in November 1963.
And what was that thing about how Hinckley's brother was going to go have
dinner
lunch-
with the vice president's son the next day. It's remarkable. Now, I got to think the assassination of Kennedy had a profound impact on the American people, period. For a young John Hinckley Jr. who was living virtually in the same city, you got to wonder, did this somehow inform his decision years later? You got to wonder. So, back to our story. After graduating from high school, Hinckley attended classes at Texas Tech University, on and off for several years, as you could probably guess, before eventually moving to Los Angeles in the hopes of becoming a songwriter. That's right. Wasn't that Charles Manson's
Yes.
goal? Which
I shot the president.
and apparently
but
Manson
did not shoot Uncle George Bush.
apparently Manson was not that far removed from possibly getting a contract.
No, he was within the whole Beach Boys organization. Other people had done his songs. I had that album. I had there's a song called "Garbage Dump" on it, which I highly recommend. I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, beautiful.
Garbage dump. We all live in a garbage dump.
Wow.
Actually, a little sadder is the three of us tried to pursue a musical career and did worse than Manson. So
Yeah, that says something. Well,
We also didn't sell government LSD, which Manson did. That's for another podcast.
oh yeah. Oh, no
That's
doubt.
true, by the way. Orange Sunshine was made by the CIA, and Manson was known as the top distributor of Orange Sunshine. Where did he get it from? Only the government had
Area
it.
51 for
Hinckley.
sure.
The tall grays and the space monkeys got him. Anyway, please go.
We might have to invite
Yes.
you know who back.
Maybe.
Oh, Simon. I'll see what Simon's up to.
All right, see if he's around.
He might be making an appearance soon.
Okay.
For the Simon Files out there. The Simon Files,
yeah.
Simo.
I'm sensing a spin-off podcast.
Simoniacs.
Spin-off podcast, The Simon Files.
Or how about this? Simon Says.
That's good. These are some
Better trademark
these are
that.
some really good ideas. Okay, let me get through John Hinckley.
Tim,
Yeah, Hinckley.
we will shut up. I want to hear this. No more talk.
All right, so John Hinckley Jr., when last we left him, moved to Los Angeles in the 1970s to become a songwriter, a dream shared, no doubt, by many people of his generation. And like many of those people, his dreams came to nothing.
I love him.
For a while, stay tuned for round 2 when John Hinckley's incredible dream might just come true, folks. Oh, yes. I have to get to round 2 if you want to hear about it. Anyway, after several months of frustration and pleas for money, John Hinckley returned home to his parents' house in what was now Evergreen, Colorado, due to his parents and his
wow.
father's business moving again.
Who was assassinated in Evergreen, Colorado?
We're on that right now. We're looking that up. Due to his depression, Hinckley started being prescribed antidepressants and tranquilizers throughout the 1970s. He also, at this time, began purchasing weapons and practicing with them. It is also worth
First Amendment, buddy.
Yeah.
First Amendment.
First or second?
The Second Amendment.
Yeah, sorry.
One of them.
Second Amendment, but first in our hearts, Pete.
There you go.
All right. It is also worth noting that while living in Los Angeles, Hinckley had invented a girlfriend that he named Lynn Collins. When he called his parents, he would tell them about Lynn, his girlfriend. She was completely fabricated.
So here's an interesting question. If you know this, did he really believe in her, or he understood he was telling his
That's a
family
good
story?
question. I don't know, Scott.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good
yeah,
question. I can't give you a definitive answer to that. but
She
that's a
probably
very
was
good
trying
question.
to tell him to like not buy so many guns, and he wasn't listening.
Perhaps. I'm surprised it wasn't Lynette Collins. It's Lynn.
Short.
Maybe. So I think this is safe to say it was a harbinger of things to come. Now, it is around this time that Hinckley becomes obsessed with an iconic film of the 1970s, Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. For those of you who are not familiar with the film, Taxi Driver was released in 1976. As I mentioned, directed by the legendary director Martin Scorsese. It is about a cab driver named Travis Bickle, played by another Hollywood legend, Academy Award winner Robert De Niro, who is himself obsessed with the crime and seediness of 1970s New York City.
One day a real rain's gonna fall.
That's right. Specifically Times Square, where he always seems to find himself. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the film, I'm going to have some spoilers ahead here. So if you have not seen Taxi Driver and plan on it, you can just move ahead a little bit. So, Taxi Driver, released in 1976, directed by the legendary director Martin Scorsese. It is about a cab driver named Travis Bickle, played by another Hollywood legend, Academy Award winner Robert De Niro,
Bobby.
who is obsessed with the crime and seediness of 1970s New York City.
One day a real rain's gonna fall.
Indeed, specifically Times Square, where Travis always seems to find himself. There are other well-known actors in the film, some of whom would go on to have great careers of their own, including Sybil Shepherd, Albert Brooks.
I was hoping you were going to mention him. He was great in that film.
Yeah. Sybil Shepherd and Albert Brooks play campaign workers to a presidential candidate named Palatine, I believe his name is, Senator Palatine, right? Also in the film is Harvey Keitel.
Best pimp ever.
Yep. The great character actor Peter Boyle.
Ah, he was great. Fellow cab driver, as I
Yes,
recall,
he is.
right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
And a young 13-year-old actress named Jodie Foster. Despite never having taken an acting class up to this point, I don't think that bodes well on us, John. Jodie Foster had never taken an acting class at this point. Foster had landed many a role on various TV series in the 1970s.
That's why we didn't get any roles on TV series, because we took too many acting classes.
There you go. But John, listen to just a smidgen of some of Jodie Foster's credits before she landed the role on Taxi Driver. Before. 'Cause she had been, I think she started modeling at age 2 for, I forget the name of what commercial it was, but she did a commercial or two and then started getting roles in various television shows at around age 6 and 7. So some of the shows she appeared on are classics of the 1970s. Adam 12,
Oh, yes.
The Partridge Family, My Three Sons, Bonanza, Gunsmoke,
Wow.
Mayberry RFD, and perhaps most glamorous of all, The Paul Lynde Show.
Oh.
John, surely this was the summit of her career.
Now I know what Tim was talking about earlier.
It certainly was.
Jodie, you're amazing.
You know what you need to do? Play a 13-year-old prostitute with Harvey Keitel pushing your buns across Central Park.
That's great. Good career advice from Paul Lynde.
And you know what? Once in a while, have a drink just to loosen you up. He died from severe
Alcoholism.
poisoning. Yeah.
Well, apparently Jodie Foster was detained at an airport for having a small amount of cocaine at one point.
Oh.
Yeah, but everything worked out okay. Okay, so
for her.
They're like,
Yeah.
this is the smallest amount of cocaine I've ever seen. Get on the plane, Jody. You're fine.
I am a tiny person.
For Hollywood.
I'm only 12.
Yeah. She was older at this point. I think she was in her 30s and 40s. All right. So before long, Foster is being offered the role of Irene, a young prostitute in the employ of a pimp named Sport, played by Scorsese favorite Harvey Keitel. Here come the spoilers.
Oh, here we go.
So, Travis Bickle, and this is very important, by the way, for the story of John Hinckley Jr., because Hinckley is obsessed with this film, right? And so the plot is extremely important for what's going to come next. So, Bickle himself becomes obsessed with rescuing Irene from the clutches of her pimp, despite the fact that she has given him no reason to believe that she needs rescuing. This, by the way, if you guys know your film history, is an echo to the iconic Western The Searchers, when John Wayne's character rescues Natalie Wood's character from a Native American tribe that had kidnapped her years earlier, despite the fact that she might have seemed happier with the Native American tribe. So at the end of this great film, The Searchers, she's brought home to her mother. Her mother thanks John Wayne, his character, for rescuing her. But Natalie Wood seems a bit sort of, I don't know the word for it is, not unhappy, but a little, confused as to what's going on. She's not overjoyed to see her mother. This is a very famous John Ford Western from, I think, 1956, The Searchers.
Yeah, that's very prescient, too. Not to go totally off subject, but
that's fine.
But when young people are kidnapped and then a time later are brought back to their families, a lot of times there's a lot of difficulty for them getting back and
Like readjusting.
yeah, and oftentimes, who's the kid who was like kidnapped and like after years
Yes,
they found him?
that was a made-for-TV show. I was just thinking that. I know my
Yeah.
name is Steven.
Right. But it's a true
Yes.
story. It's based on a true story.
It's a true story,
And I
yeah.
believe
He referred to the kidnapper as his dad.
I believe he took his life.
He did.
Yeah, he took his
Yeah,
life
he killed
because
himself.
a matter of fact that movie Room.
Yes, Room's a great movie.
It talks about that. It elucidates on that. What a perfect movie.
yeah.
Anyway, please.
No, but you're right. I was just thinking of
Yeah.
that film. Like when he's finally brought back home, he referred to the kidnapper as dad.
Yeah.
And his own parents were horrified by this.
Yeah.
So I've also heard that a long time ago when Native American tribes would sometimes kidnap children on the frontier, that sometimes it was true that the children would be happier with the Native American tribes, either because their communal living was, I don't know, maybe it was happier for them, or as you say, they just got used to it.
Well, it's
they
like Pete's
adapted.
black SUVs, right? You get used to something. Oh, that's what I know.
Whatever
Yeah.
your reality is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bickle is also enamored with a beautiful campaign worker played by Sybil Shepherd, who, as I said before, is stumping for a senator named Palatine, who is running for president. This is where it gets very interesting. Bickle shows up to a Palatine campaign rally where he intends to assassinate the senator, but is thwarted at the last second and runs off. It is only a little while later when he goads Sport into a fight and then shoots him several times, killing him, that I think Hinckley's obsession begins here. So Irene is then returned home to her family, and Travis, who is also wounded in this fight, reads a letter in the hospital from the grateful mother, thanking him and praising him as an angel. So the man who was about to be another assassin, with the classic lone nut assassin, has now turned into a hero. And this is the genius of Scorsese's film. How we have people who are on the verge of doing something awful, but then, a day or two later are praised as heroes. This film Hinckley sees dozens of times, right? And becomes totally obsessed with it. So, now that's the thing. Before VCRs and cable TV, seeing a movie that many times is quite a feat.
Yeah.
You had to go to the theater to see films like this. Before VCRs, cable TV, you couldn't just, stream a film or go rent it at the video store. You had to either hope it came on television years later, which Taxi Driver probably wasn't going to. It would have to edit the crap out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or hope to get, put back in the theaters, which it did sometimes.
Yeah, I think it was on cable. I think that's where I saw it. I think it was on cable, so he might have seen it a bunch of times.
That could be by the early
on
80s.
HBO.
There was cable by the late 70s. Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know this to be true, but his family had means, so he might have been able to just repeatedly go to the theater again and again and again.
That's true. Yeah. Now, I said dozens of times. Apparently, it was about a dozen times. Which, look,
Still,
We'll let it pass.
come on. I'd probably view The Godfather, or at least parts of it, 3 times more than that, right? You don't see me going out and shooting people in Italian restaurants over their veal.
Not that we know of.
Come on. Anyway, Hinckley is disturbed, however, and he is lonely, and he is isolated, which we've talked about. He probably has delusions of grandeur, the way a past presidential assassin, Charles Guiteau, who assassinated James Garfield, very much did. But the thing is, unlike Guiteau, Hinckley's obsession is not with shooting the president. It's with the young actress Jodie Foster, right? Who was nominated for an Academy Award for her role as Irene. Foster, by the way, would later go on to win 2 Oscars for Best Actress. The first for The Accused, which is a fantastic movie, but very, very tough watch.
Yes.
And the second for her role as Clarice, of course, in the iconic Silence of the Lambs. So, back to Jodie Foster. After the film, Foster would graduate, and I didn't know this. This is something I learned, which is interesting. Foster graduated from the Lycée Français de Los Angeles. This was a bilingual prep school where Foster learned to speak fluent French.
she's made a couple of films recently.
Yes.
We just learned about that.
In French. Apparently, when they went to the Cannes Film Festival, where I think Taxi Driver won the Palme d'Or, the highest honor, she acted as translator for the cast and production team with the French press, who were highly impressed by this. Here's this 13-year-old girl, acting as translator, for the Cannes Film Festival. So she is a extremely impressive person, even as a child. In fact, a quick aside here. The same year that Taxi Driver came out in 1976, Foster made the, let's call it famous, Bugsy Malone, which I think we're all familiar with growing up at a certain time.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
Bugsy Malone, for those who don't know, is a gangster film which is acted completely with children.
A gangster musical.
Yes, sorry, a gangster musical that is populated entirely with children. And some of the finest child actors of the 70s are in it. Scott Baio, Christy McNichol, Jodie Foster.
McNichol's not in it.
Oh, she's not in it? I'm
not
sorry,
in
I'm
it.
thinking of someone else then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, and of course, music by the fantastic, greatest of all time, Paul Williams.
That's right, Paul Williams, legend.
Who had also, only a year earlier, create the entire Phantom of the Paradise, another one of the greatest movies of all time.
And he would do the music for the Muppet movie a year after that.
He's the man who brought us Rainbow Connection.
Oh,
If you were sitting there saying, what's he talking about? Paul Williams is the greatest. He is. Shut up. I hate you.
There you go, John. They deserve that.
Anyone who badmouths Paul Williams,
They get it.
they deserve a kick in the teeth.
That's right. Put John Hinckley on you.
Ooh, I'm gonna tell anyone who doesn't like Paul Williams that I'm gonna tell John Hinckley that person said bad things about Jodie Foster.
There you go.
He will certainly
okay.
foster a grudge.
Oh, good one, John. Very good.
Very witty, sir.
All right.
Please continue. I want to hear more of this.
So, where was I? Oh, anyway, she when she was making Bugsy Malone, the director Alan Parker said she was so on the ball. She was so organized. He said that if I walked outside and got hit by a bus, I was confident that she could have taken over the director duties and the movie would have been finished. She was, again, a highly impressive person at a very young age. So, Foster graduates from this very prestigious prep school in Los Angeles. She speaks fluent French. She then attends Yale University starting in 1981, where she studies African-American literature under the very famous professor Henry Louis Gates, who then moved on to Harvard, of course. She would graduate magna cum laude in 1985. So,
Amazing.
again, she's an amazing person, Jodie Foster. It is, however, in her freshman year at Yale that Hinckley begins stalking her.
With all these accreditations that she has, maybe I'm with Hinckley. I'm getting a little obsessed with her, is what I'm saying.
Can she just shed a couple of accreditations, you know?
Well, more on that. So
Tell me she doesn't like Paul Williams, so I don't kill anyone. For
I'm
her.
sure she loved Paul Williams. Who doesn't? Come on, who doesn't?
He's a sinner, candy coated.
You have to be a troglodyte not to like Paul Williams. All right. So Hinckley writes her dozens of letters, poems expressing his love for her. He calls her on the telephone several times, but never has the courage to talk to her in public, which he has the opportunity to multiple times. He moves to New Haven, Connecticut to be near her. Finally, on the morning of March 30th, 1981, John Hinckley Jr. sits down to write one final letter to Jody. In it, he states this, and I will read the entire letter if you'll bear with me here. Dear Jody, there is a definite possibility that I will be killed in my attempt to get Reagan. It is for this very reason that I am writing you this letter now. As you well now by know, I love you very much. The past 7 months, I have left you dozens of poems, letters, and messages in the faint hope you would develop an interest in me. By the way, this is getting at the romantic gesture here, gentlemen, what we're talking about.
Poetry is nice.
Oh, yes.
Scott knows.
Although we talked on the phone a couple of times, I never had the nerve to simply approach you and introduce myself. Besides my shyness, I honestly did not wish to bother you. That's nice of him. I know the many messages left at your door and in your mailbox were a nuisance, but I felt it was the most painless way for me to express my love to you.
And I peered in the window a couple times.
I feel very good about the fact that you at least know my name and how I feel about you. And by hanging around your dormitory, I've come to realize that I'm the topic of more than a little conversation, however full of ridicule it may be. So he did have a window into, that this was a problem. What he was doing was not okay. At least you know that I'll always love you. Jody, I would abandon this idea of getting Reagan in a second if I could only win your heart and live out the rest of my life with you, whether it be in total obscurity or whatever. I will admit to you that the reason I'm going ahead with this attempt now is because I just cannot wait any longer to impress you. So he actually does use the word impress. I've got to do something now to make you understand in no uncertain terms that I am doing all of this for your sake. By sacrificing my freedom and possibly my life, I hope to change your mind about me. This letter is being written an hour before I leave for the Hilton Hotel. Jody, I'm asking you to please look into your heart and at least give me the chance with this historical deed to gain your respect and love. I love you forever. Signed, John Hinckley.
That is lovely.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
there aren't too many letters I've received in my life where someone has just expressed the level of love and consideration that they have for me. That was quite tender.
Well, he's not an entirely inarticulate person. He clearly comes across as intelligent. He has insight that his behavior is abnormal and that he is bothering her.
And given his prep schooling, I'm sure the
No, he didn't go to prep school.
Oh no,
I don't think so.
I was going to say his punctuation in the letter was probably wonderful.
Well, by the way, I found that on the Reagan Library site. It's a really good website. They have all the documentation, not just of all Reagan's presidency.
Did they have this letter there?
Yes, they had pictures of the letter. It was photographed as evidence, and there's a lot of evidence. Just the Hinckley files on the Reagan site alone take up like 3 or 4 pages.
Wow.
You can find photographs just before and after the assassination attempt. It's very interesting. It's worth a look. I'm going to explain now what he does next, and then I'm going to end this, and we'll go to round 2. Hinckley then makes his way to the Washington Hilton via taxi and positions himself outside the hotel among hundreds of other onlookers. Now, you can see the assassination attempt on video. It's on YouTube. It's an easy search. You can't see all the people. You hear people. But there's photographs that I saw on the Reagan Library site where you can see many people, dozens of people in the background, looking. And that's why when you see the Secret Service agents taking Reagan out, they all look very serious because there's a lot of people there, and they know this is a very dangerous situation. And of course, it's going to bear true. So, Hinckley, at this point, pulls his Room revolver. It's spelled R-O with a little German diphthong over it, H-M. I believe it's pronounced Room, right? Just prior to firing shots, you hear a woman call out, "President Reagan." Reagan turns around to wave to the crowd. That is when Hinckley pulls out his revolver. He fires 6 shots in quick succession. First shot hits Press Secretary James Brady in the head. Yeah, growing up, we saw this as young children. We know what happened to him. He becomes permanently disabled and also would actually die 33 years later from these wounds. Technically, that is considered a homicide, right? So Hinckley, while he doesn't kill anybody else, obviously Reagan survives, he is actually considered a murderer for shooting Brady, although Brady, again, died 33 years later. But it was clearly from the wounds. The second shot wounded police officer Thomas Delahanty. Delahanty, by the way, is visible on the film footage. He has this kind of craggy kind of looking face, police officer, and he's kind of looking, to the side there. He is shot in the neck. He also survives. The third shot missed. The fourth shot hit Secret Service agent Timothy McCarthy in the chest as he shielded the president with his body, exactly as he was trained to do. The fifth and sixth shots would ricochet off of the armor-plated limousine, with the sixth shot hitting Reagan in the left lung and missing his heart by an inch.
So it was a ricochet shot?
It was a ricochet, exactly. And it was 1 inch from hitting the president in the heart, which surely would have killed him. So Hinckley is immediately mobbed by police officers, Secret Service, and I love this part of the story, a couple of labor organizers from Cleveland who immediately jump on him. The last guys you want to mess with are labor organizers from Cleveland, especially in the early 1980s. In fact, a Secret Service agent named, I don't know if it was Bruce McCarthy or it might have been Bruce McCarthy. He jumps, he's no relation to Timothy McCarthy, who took a shot in the chest, who survived, by the way. The other McCarthy jumps on top of Hinckley to protect him. He was worried people would try and kill him the way Oswald was killed, and he didn't want that. He goes, no, this guy has to go on trial. We need all the evidence out. We cannot have another Oswald situation. So one of the organizers from Cleveland is punching Hinckley in the head so hard that he draws blood. So, Hinckley is roughed up here big time by these guys.
This is my third today. I had to take the VIG from someone.
Well, certainly if John's all messed up, he's not going to attract the attention of Miss Foster at this point.
Women love scars.
Yes. So at this point, I'm going to fast forward. John Hinckley Jr. is put on trial, and in February 1982, he is declared not guilty by reason of insanity. A verdict that absolutely shocked and outraged the American people. Now, he was deemed to be too dangerous to live in civil society. He was confined to St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C. More on this later if I get to round 2, but I'll give you a spoiler alert. He is no longer confined to St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C. In 2016, John Hinckley Jr. was declared totally sane, not a threat to anybody, and released from the hospital, where he is now living on his own and pursuing a career, you guessed it, as a singer-songwriter.
Dum, dum, dum.
Indeed.
Did he start dating Jodie Foster?
No.
Nobody is doing Manson covers now.
What? No, but I want to give Jodie Foster her due, because Jodie Foster, to her credit, handled this like a champ.
She does with everything.
Yep. She
Said, avant de soir, de soir.
She did not speak about this for years. She would never talk about it in an interview. Only a couple of times has she spoken publicly about it. And I want to use her words because, again, what she talked about, obviously she was horrified. That goes without saying. She felt that being caught up in this drama was, and again, at the time, she's 18 years old. This must have been horrifying for her.
And she's a freshman in college.
She's a freshman at Yale.
The hardest year.
And then,
Yeah.
when somebody shoots the president on you, it's...
Yeah, and so, she didn't want to talk about that. And she I'll get to what she actually I'll find it later about what she actually said, but I'll sum up for now. She said, "Look, for all the pain that I went through, it's nothing compared to the Brady family. Like he was actually shot. He eventually lost his life because of this. So she says, what I went through is nothing compared to that. So she just handled this like a champ, basically.
A lot of perspective there, huh?
A lot of perspective, yep. And again, to this day, it's something that she doesn't often talk about. She has made a couple public statements about it, and she has just left it at that. She said, I did not want to be, again, like the woman you talked about, Lisa Nowak, who has been basically defined by that. She goes, I don't want to be defined by this. And you know what? I don't think she has. She has made iconic movies. She is a two-time Academy Award winner. And while that, of course, will always be part of her story, it absolutely does not define her at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So that is my opinion, is without a doubt the worst romantic gesture of all time.
Wow.
Well done. Well done.
Well
Thank
done. Well researched, well presented.
Absolutely.
And I'll end with a little humor here. If you know The Onion, the fantastic satirical newspaper, in I believe it was Our Dumb Century, they had a little blurb in the bottom. It said, Foster and Hinckley to wed. Foster apparently, quote, was very impressed.
I would have to think that there is a slew of other, and I don't consider Jodie Foster a celebrity. She's an actor. She's an activist. She's a brilliant woman. But there's a lot of celebrities that I think would certainly have ridden this for everything it was worth.
Yeah.
I can see a Kardashian marrying him.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Certainly making a TV show about it.
Well, once again, I'm just going to reiterate, despite the fact that my presentation was short, that I think the perpetrators, in my case, were basically considered sane people. I think the rest of these people are all a little iffy in the sanity department. That's what I think is going for my story, besides the
I think that's a fair
utter
comment.
craziness.
John,
Scott?
are you leaning in a particular way?
I mean, I am.
I feel like I am as well.
Yeah, this is possibly the easiest decision we've ever made. Not discounting Pete's very intelligent point that you just made right now, but I think the whole idea of love, and certainly grand romantic gestures, is that there is a palpable insanity in love. I think the only thing that eclipses Pete's choice is the attempted assassination of a U.S. standing president.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got to go with
I agree.
Mark David Chapman. Did I say Mark? Yeah.
No, Mark.
I always mix the
Hinckley.
two up. John
Mark David
Hinckley.
Chapman
Right.
killed John Lennon, yeah.
I'll go with him too.
Well, John, I agree with you that John Wayne Gacy should absolutely win this round.
Lucille Ball should be put in prison for murdering Elmont Lacouille, the libertarian candidate from 1968 to 1978.
Amen.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Tim?
Thank you.
done.
Thank you,
Well
guys.
done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let us listen to some sweet romantic music and dive into our final round, where it is between me and John Hinckley Jr.
Yes, indeed.
Can Lisa Nowak defeat John Hinckley Jr. in this dodecahedron? We'll see in only a few short seconds. Bye.
And we're back. We're taking your calls. We have Simon here, who's in the woods.
Yes, Lana. I'm here to ask a question about love.
Yes, Simon. Go right ahead.
Well, I've met a lovely lady on cryptidlovers.org.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It's wonderful. It has been a process. But I feel that I am going to find the right person for me. And I thought I had. But it turns out that this person believes that the chupacabra is not actually a familiar from the Bigfoot galaxy, which we all know it is, but she just believes that it is a moldy dog or, raccoon that was found in Puerto Rico. We agree on everything else except this. Can I move forward with my love if she does not acknowledge the obvious existence of the chupacabra as a Bigfoot galactical familiar?
Well, Simon, only you can answer that question. You know, if that is a deal breaker, then you may have to move on.
Lana, I guess you're right. It's just that I have not been able to get through the Marchlade Encyclopedia of Cryptids past R because of my loneliness.
Well, then perhaps you should look past this and accept her for her beliefs.
Oh, Lana, if it were only that easy. But you know what? With Valentine's Day coming up, I think the only thing that I could do is to put this obvious ignorance aside, because the Marchlade Encyclopedia of Cryptids is cold when I hold it. And this lady probably is warm.
Well, you know, it sounds to me that maybe you could convince her. You convinced me about Bigfoot.
And Lana, you've convinced me. Love is mine, Lana. Love is mine.
Good luck, Simon.
Thank you, Lana. I'm going now. Chupacabras be damned. I can't believe I said that.
Well, we're back, folks.
Thank goodness. This is going to be...
That was-
Quite an interesting interlude.
Yeah,
it really
was.
was.
Yeah.
And it was nice to hear from Simon.
Yeah. Well, John, it looks like it's me versus you.
It is. And let us not waste any time, because no one wants to hear about this. They want to hear about what you're going to bring. So I'm going to really quickly give my second half bits about Lisa Nowak. Really quickly, you're probably wondering what happened to her. And as you can probably guess, after all of that amazing career that she had, she was what Assistant Secretary of Navy John M. Garcia III said she fell well short of what is expected of Navy officers and demonstrated a complete disregard for the well-being of fellow service members. She retired from the Navy with an other than honorable discharge, and they demoted her to the rank of commander on September 1st, 2011.
Other than honorable discharge?
Yeah, so it's not a dishonorable discharge.
It seems like it's somewhere in between.
It is. It's like this
Limbo.
weird...
That's
yeah.
effed up.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that people who get dishonorable discharges, I mean, that could run the gamut, but...
She still gets a pension, I guess.
I didn't look into that, but I'm sure, and it's not as disgraceful as a dishonorable discharge. Yeah, and honestly, in all those years, I've never heard of a other than honorable discharge.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the Navy.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I seem to recall in more recent news reports, they've been presented with tons of evidence about misbehavior between the officers, male and female, and they handled that swimmingly, as I recall. So it seems like another example of them, throw us a problem, we'll fix it.
Yes.
By swimmingly, you mean they threw them in the pool together? Or?
Yeah. Well, they threw them in the ocean.
They screwed the pooch like Goofy would have.
Just like Goofy would have. And then in popular culture, because this story is too good to die, it found its way in many, many, many different bits of popular culture. Many found Nowak's story fascinating, and it was adapted for music, film, and television. Rocket Man, a 2007 episode of Law and Order: Criminal Intent, was inspired in part by Nowak's story. A 2008 Molly Lewis song, Road Trip, recounts the details of early news reports about Nowak's trip from Houston to Orlando. The Ben Folds song, Cologne, from his 2008 album Way to Normal,
Which is
also
such a
mentions...
great song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
It's-
And the intro is like a separate track. It's beautiful.
There's an artist, Austra, who had a music video for a song, I Love You More Than You Love Yourself, references the actions leading up to Nowak's final arrest, with band leader Katie Shellmans playing the role of Nowak. She's also the subject of a play, Starcrosser's Cut, which opened in L.A. in June of 2013. And in 2019, the film Lucy in the Sky, starring Natalie Portman, was loosely based on Nowak's story. Nowak herself lives a very quiet life. She has never done an interview or talked to anybody about this. And
No prosecution for her?
at first, they were going to throw a ton of charges at her.
I think.
Nothing really stuck.
That's all she really did was pepper spray her, right?
Ultimately, she was sentenced to a year's probation and the 2 days already served in jail with no additional jail time. What I was hinting at is I don't think I was hinting at it. You know, she was manipulated. She was manipulated by the dude, Oleon Shinsines or whatever his name was. Yeah, you know, he did the classic incel-y kind of, yeah, you know, babe, we're broken up, but you can hang out with me and we can hang out. So I'm sure he was house planting her, you know, giving her a little bit of attention just so he gets attention, letting him work out. They probably, maybe he was still hooking up with her. Possibly that's not said, but you know this story. I think she was just being manipulated by him. And I think for what they gave her, I think they saw that. Once again, she was only given the 2 days that she spent in jail and probation. And in 2011, she petitioned the court to seal the record of her criminal proceedings, citing harm to her family and their livelihood, and that motion was granted. So once again, she leads a quiet life, and it kind of, you know, went out not with a bang but with a whimper, and she leads a very quiet life right now.
No one will be talking about this until this episode comes out.
It's a little crazy. I mean, when you think about the 20 years when she, you know, from when she went to college and did all those crazy, like, what else could she have done in any extra minute that she had?
It's like so many, it's like so many people. Chamberlain's like this. Herbert Hoover is like this, where they had these amazing lives. Hoover was a war hero.
He saved Belgium from starvation.
He
was head of the Food Administration.
Yeah, he was an amazing man. That's how he became president. He was incredibly loved, incredibly respected. Chamberlain did a ton of great stuff until that, you know, one or two decision. It's more than one or two decisions, but
Peace in our time.
That's what they're remembered for. Yeah.
You do this one thing. She had this whole life, and you do that one thing, and
yeah. Well, it's like, you know, people who are usually shits and do one great thing, and they might be remembered just for the one great thing. Like, hey, that guy was an asshole. Yeah.
Dude, that could certainly be one of our subjects.
Yeah.
One of our episodes in the future.
Worst underrated asshole.
Yeah, or worst overrated asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so that is
Okay.
my second half.
All right.
Kind of once again, not explosive, simple. So I know what everyone wants to hear.
All right. So
Finish her up, Tim.
Well, what happened to John Hinckley after? Well, after being confined at St. Elizabeth's Hospital, Washington, D.C., early on, he was tested, and the doctors found him unpredictably dangerous, a man who might harm himself or any third party. In 1983, he told Penthouse magazine, I don't know how he had access to talk to Penthouse. I certainly didn't.
Guccione needed to sell some magazines.
I guess, yeah. On a normal day, he would, quote, see a therapist, answer mail, play guitar, listen to music, play pool, watch television, eat lousy food, and take delicious medication. John, does that sound like your day at all?
To a T. To a goddamn T.
I'm not that far off, actually.
It's honestly, that ain't a bad way to live.
I was going to say, this doesn't sound like a terrible existence, except for the lousy food.
True. John, and the food is excellent. My intake is delicious and nutritious. How you would get to that life that he's living is not a way that I would like to.
Well, apparently it was on the government's dime, so I don't know.
True.
It was the Democrats who paid for that.
Anyway, around 1986, Hinckley in the hospital began seeking various conditional releases. 86, this is 5 years removed from the assassination attempt.
Shit.
The Reagan family was
4 years from when he was put in there in the first place.
Yeah, right. The Reagan family is totally opposed to this. In 1987, he was granted a 12-hour unescorted pass, allowing him to visit his parents on Easter. By 1987, his doctor said, I don't believe he's suicidal. I don't believe he's a danger to Jodie Foster. I don't believe he's a danger to Mr. Reagan or Mr. Brady. He had some bumps. At one point,
I'm here for the bumps.
Yeah, he wrote to Ted Bundy. He sought Charles Manson's address and actually got a letter from, here is the third time we're mentioning her, a letter from Lynette Squeaky Frome. She keeps coming up again and again.
Wow.
Yeah. So eventually, the hospital did withdraw his request for unescorted furloughs for administrative reasons. 1992.
Administrative reasons.
Yeah, exactly. A little euphemism there. In 1992, he submitted another request for additional privileges that was withdrawn. But by 2003, he was starting to get some more visits to his parents under supervision. And by 2009, a judge ruled that Hinckley would be permitted to visit his mother for a dozen visits of 10 days at a time. Talking 120 days a year. It's a third of the year. Jeez. He could be out. He was actually allowed to have a driver's license, but he had to have a GPS-enabled cell phone to track him whenever he was outside of his parents' home. He could not speak with the news media. Obviously, he could have no contact with the Reagan family or Jodie Foster.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that went without saying. By 2011, a hearing in Washington was held to consider whether he could live full-time outside the hospital. By December 2013, the court ordered that visits could be extended to his mother, who lived near Williamsburg, Virginia, and he was permitted up to 817 visits. But on July 27th, 2016, a federal judge ruled that Hinckley could be released from St. Elizabeth's on August 5th. He was no longer considered a threat to himself or others. Patty Davis, one of Reagan's daughters, denounced this. However, one of Reagan's sons, I think it was Michael, said he was okay with this. He thought Hinckley was not a danger anymore and that he had learned the error of his ways. So by September 2019, there were a lot of conditions that Hinckley had to live by on his release. By September 2019, they asked for an unconditional release, and this was granted on June 15th, 2022.
Oh my God.
In an interview of that same month, Hinckley expressed remorse for his actions, apologized to the Reagan and Brady families, as well as Jodie Foster. He is now playing music. He puts it on YouTube. He would like to have concerts, but a lot of venues have been refusing that. They think that he's basically going to capitalize on his fame, which, let's face it, if he never shot Reagan, no one would have ever heard of him, almost certainly.
Is it true that they realized he was cured when he went to go see the beaver and he said, man, that sucked?
That's the test. You passed.
Yeah, after I saw the beaver, I'm not attracted to Jodie Foster anymore. That movie's terrible. Jesus Christ. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So, yeah, he's out. He is living on his own. He's keeping to himself. And it sounds like the world has moved on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Until tonight.
That is the story
Until...
of John Warnock Hinckley Jr.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right, Pete, let's have it. What are you thinking?
Well, I still think you guys went the wrong way, but we'll have to live with that. So, yeah, I mean,
can you carry on, Pete, and help us get to a decision?
I'm going to soldier on here.
Thank you.
And I think I can.
Excellent.
I think I can. Woo, woo. With respect to John's story, which was wonderful, I still go back to my, finding difficulty finding the romantic gesture-ness of it all.
I think it's going to come down to that. I really do.
Yeah. So in that regard, I think I have to go with old Mr. Hinckley.
Yeah, I think he's strumming the tune that we needed to hear as far as, I think what we discovered is this, maybe like an encapsulation of this episode. We came up with very interesting historical events to discuss, but we're undone by the definition of romantic gesture. I mean, I think in Tim's case, it was clearest. I mean, admittedly, as I was going through this, I'm like, I got to make sure I tie them together really well. And, and you saw the decision in the first round, but it was very strongly presented. I mean, and it was there. You didn't have to search for it.
No, he wrote it out.
Yeah.
I know
Plain as
that.
day.
Actually,
Clearly.
the letter was really
And-
what made the case.
You saw me cracking up when John started. Once I realized where he was going, I desperately wanted that story to come out on top. So I apologize, friend. But
It's, it's you can't beat.
I'm going to award you the presidential seal of disappointment as far as have it. So we can shake on this one,
I
right?
think we can.
Yes.
I think we can.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic. So we have a winner. The worst romantic gesture in history is John Hinckley Jr.'s attempted assassination of President Reagan.
To impress Jodie Foster. Thank you, gentlemen.
We're
Well done.
clapping for the presentation, clearly,
Yes.
not the assassination attempt.
Yes, thank you. Thank
So
you.
you know what time it is right now. This is a little bit of office work. Please, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, and of course you did, like, share, and subscribe. Like us, press the little like button. It's easy on any podcatcher that you've got. Subscribe to us. Once again, on any podcatcher, you subscribe, and depending on what podcatcher it is, you'll have a little blue dot come up telling you that a new episode is out. And share, yes, subscribe, and then share not only the link to people, but literally send it to them. Send them a little message with a link on it. Hey, you got to listen to this. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Even better than my children newborn cries. I'm sure that said a lot. Anyway, and of course, if you want to go a little bit further than that, when you're on your podcatcher, rate us. 5 stars is awesome. And if you have anything less than 5 stars to say, write it down or send us an email to worstestpodcast@gmail.com. I'd like to see an actual email come to us and not just a bunch of people saying, you can make $7 million with crypto. So please send us a...
Wait, what?
What?
Oh, well, I have a present for you boys. Helicopters all, because I was able to make that money. Do not buy crypto. And that's really about it for The Office. So let's go really quick, because this is a long one. Let's go really quick into the bestest.
Okay. Yeah,
What do you got, Scott? Hit us with a bestest.
Yeah, so this one's simple for me. Because of the subject of my presentation, I'm going to ask us to turn back the clock to December 30th of 2018. Very good, very good. So I was in the MoMA with my son. For many years, we would take a father-son trip in between the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, into the city and just try to have some fun, grab a good meal. We went to MoMA, and I was suddenly, I want to say it was on the 4th floor in the museum, in the presence of Starry Night. Mm-hmm. And here's what I did not expect, because that trip into the museum was great. I saw so many wonderful things, most from artists I really wasn't
That's
familiar
a
with.
great museum.
Yeah. But there it was, surrounded by people. Mm-hmm. And here's what was unexpected. I actually got emotional. Mm-hmm. I could not believe that I was standing in the same room with that painting. And it's not even near my favorite of one of his works, but it is iconic. And I probably got within about 4 feet of it. It blew me away. So the fact that I was able to remember that was my bestest.
Nice. Quickly, I was in London, and I saw sunflowers.
Oh my gosh, I would have killed. Well, not exactly killed, but
No.
Oh, I love that series.
Assassinated?
No, not that either.
You would have killed a 4-pack. Of
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, and the same thing. I choked up. I choked up when I saw it. Especially, I got close and I went to the side, and it's like 2 inches thick. Like he's glopping paint on and on and on and on. And when you see it, the prints are beautiful. When you see it in real life and you see the depth of it, it's almost a sculpture. And yeah, I got choked up. Same thing. I got emotional looking at it. The work is fantastic.
I went to the Netherlands, and they have a Van Gogh museum.
Yes.
Yep.
And
It's fabulous.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You've been?
I've been, yeah. It is
Yeah.
very emotional.
And also,
reading about his life.
the Musée d'Orsay in Paris
I've been
also
there.
has a lot of Van Gogh. I mean, it was quite an experience. Yeah,
That's really good.
amazing stuff.
Pete, what's your bestest?
I was thinking, and actually shouldn't have taken much thought, because last week my family and I went in to see Hamilton, which we've never seen before. And I've seen the movie of it, and, I've heard the soundtrack a million times. And when I saw the movie, I was like, I don't really get it. I couldn't understand some of the things they were
They
saying.
never work.
And,
The Broadway movies never work, or very rarely.
but the show was just unbelievable. It is so good. I caught every word that they said, and the state, like they had this rotating stuff on the stage, and it was great. It was fantastic. So
Nice.
Hamilton.
All right.
Nice. You know what my bestest is going to be? So it's inspired by Tim's story. It always chokes me up. When Reagan was shot, I'll temper this so I'm not so choked up. So when Reagan was shot, and they didn't think he was shot, but then he couldn't breathe, and they saw a little pinhole, and they bring him in, and I'll do the cynical part first. So the surgeon who operated on Reagan, he was a minority. I believe he was Spanish. But he was able to be a surgeon. He grew up poor. He was able to go to medical school because of government funding and government help that they gave to him, and that Reagan had killed. Reagan had literally killed the programs that helped his surgeon skillfully and expertly remove the bullet from him. So that's the cynical part of what I was thinking. That's not the bestest. The bestest. Now, this man knows exactly what Reagan did, and how others like him will not become doctors in the same way that he was able to become a doctor. But Reagan, for whatever you want to say about him, and there's plenty you can, but there's also positive things that you can say about Reagan. And one of them was his humor and his ability to connect with people. And he was on the operating table about to have the gas mask put on him, and he looked up and said, "This is funny as fuck." He says, "Sir, I hope you're a Republican."
I hope you're all Republicans.
Yeah. And the doctor said to him, "Today, sir, we all are."
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And it's a funny story, and it's a beautiful story. Today, we all are.
Yeah. Apparently, when his wife Nancy went to visit him, he said, "Honey, I forgot to duck."
Yeah.
Yeah, he just always had like a quip.
Yeah,
it was like a movie.
Tim, what do you got?
All right. Well, my best was this weekend. My wife and my youngest son Thomas went skiing, despite the fact that it was minus 11.
Said last week they were
Sunday
going to do
morning.
that. Did
Yeah.
they ski?
We went cross country skiing on Saturday, and oddly enough,
Where was this?
We went to Bel Air in the Catskills.
Okay.
Oddly enough, my feet were the warmest when I was cross country skiing.
Yeah.
Incredibly, like in the house we were in, and we love the house we rent. The car, like you name it, my feet were just cold the whole time, other than skiing. Because when you're cross country skiing, you're constantly moving. It's aerobic, so it warms your body. So we were fine. The Sunday we woke up, it was minus 11, and my son and I downhill. My wife doesn't want to downhill anymore, and you have to have layers. Every piece of skin's got to be covered. And when it was fine. It actually was not as bad as you might think. It got to about minus 2. It might have got to 1 when we left. Yeah. 1 or 2 was the high that day. And we left around like noon because we did like 2 or 3 runs. It was just too cold. But the sun was out. It was beautiful. The snow was great conditions. So yeah, it was great carving snow. It was really nice. But when my mask fell for about a minute going downhill and the wind was hitting it, the wind chill was, I think, minus 25.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel your nose starting to get numb. And I thought, okay, they had frostbite warnings that day. So I thought, I got to stop, pull the mask up, and just, you had to stay covered because it was something you could absolutely get frostbite in that kind of weather. But after 3 runs, it's like, all right, it was a beautiful day. We had fun. Let's quit while we're ahead here. You know, like we're alive. We don't have frostbite. Let's go home. So we went home and watched the Super Bowl. But it was a nice weekend. We had a nice time.
Very nice.
Awesome.
We survived. We survived.
Survived, yeah.
It was the coldest I've ever skied in, without question.
But was it the coldest you've ever loved in, Tim?
I can't say that I did.
Well, and that's fine. But you know what? Maybe Simon has found some love.
Maybe. Let's hope so.
I do too.
Let's hope she's not in the Illuminati, because that's a deal breaker for him.
Oh no. We may never hear from Simon again.
He's smart. He'll figure it out.
What do they call it? Sugar bowl? When like cults try to get people by sending out women to flirt with them, and they get pulled into the
Like a honey
cult?
trap?
Honey trap. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's also like not fancy flirting. I don't know, something that might be on a future episode. Who knows? Anyway,
I wish I were honey trapped.
maybe you are. You are on Worstest.
Be quiet over there, Winnie the Pooh.
But yeah, hopefully you have a beautiful, wonderful Valentine's Day. If you have someone to share it with, you share it with them to 100% all you can. And if you don't have anyone to share with, man, love yourself. And certainly love it in a way that's less intrusive than Goofy would.
That's right.
Because he's freaky.
Thanks
Anyway.
for coming on. Thanks for listening.
Thanks,
We
guys. Have a good
appreciate
night.
it very much.
Thank you.
You're all so beautiful.
What about the audience, Scott?
Well, them too.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.